those days that should have slipped quietly into memory. But something happened on that day that changed not just my child's life, but mine. A tiny pair of hands had found food colors and painted the floor. Not random strokes, not accidental splashes. There was blending, intention, and curiosity. Most adults, trust me, would have seen it as a mess, but I saw a mind trying to speak even before language arrived. And that moment taught me the first truth of motherhood. Children reveal their genius in the moments we are least prepared to notice. A motherhood that didn't go as planned. My own journey wasn't the romantic version I had imagined. I had a career I loved. My workplace was filled with creativity, design, and independence. But when my first child was little, I felt a quiet emptiness, like life was happening at a pace I couldn't keep up with. And womanhood and motherhood were constantly wrestling for space. When I learned I was expecting again, everything became clear for me. I resigned on that day, not out of sacrifice, but out of intuition, a feeling that if I didn't pause now, I would miss the only years that don't come back. Honestly, I didn't stop being ambitious. I simply shifted my ambition to something deeper, to raise children who feel safe, to imagine. I spent days and nights learning about how children think, absorb, and explore. We turn corners of our house into tiny studios. We fill books with, we fill shelves with books and blank pages. We allowed colors on the floor and stories on the walls. We allowed boredom. We allowed wonder. We allowed expression. Our home wasn't perfect, but it was alive. And in that little world, something beautiful happened. A child discovered art as a language. Another discovered stories as a universe. Their expressions were pure, unfiltered, and uncorrected. They didn't need approval, they needed space. As they grew, their creations found ways to exhibitions, galleries, and spaces far beyond our home. What moved me wasn't the applause, but the way people from different cultures connected instantly with something created by a child. It also reminded me that imagination is a human language, borderless, ageless, and universal. But here's the truth we often don't speak enough about. For every child whose imagination survives, there are thousands whose creativity quietly dies in silence. Not because we parents don't care, but because modern lives leave little room for wonder. Schools measure performance, society measure achievement, families measure obedience, and imagination gets squeezed somewhere between homework, classes, and expectations. Watching my children grow showed me something profound. A child doesn't thrive on talent alone. A child thrives when talent meets the right environment. Teachers, neighbors, friends, family, who all collectively create a world a child grows in. And that world can either nurture imagination or suffocate it. As mothers, as caregivers, as educators, as adults in society, we carry a shared responsibility to become protector of childhood and not managers of it. If there is one thing I want you to take away today, let it be this. Create 20 minutes of unstructured freedom for every child every day. Not tuitions, not assignments, not instructions, not perfection. Just a little pocket of time where curiosity is not corrected, creativity is not judged, mess is not scolded, and silence is not rushed. Imagination is not interrupted. Give them a corner, a notebook, a brush, a box of scrap, a set of color, a patch of a garden, anything. Because in those 20 minutes, something extraordinary happens. A child meets their true self. And once that happens, the world can change. I do not know how far my children's journeys will go. No parent does. But I do know this. They grew because they had space. They thrived because they felt safe. They blossomed because we chose presence over perfection. And if every child gets even a small pocket of that freedom, we would raise a generation not driven by pressure, but powered by imagination. A generation capable of creating, building, questioning, and dreaming. A generation not shaped by fear, but by possibilities. All it takes is only 20 minutes a day, a little space, a little trust, a community that believes in imagination, and children will do the rest. Thank you.